Thank you. Apologies for the delay. There's been a lot of popularity on the tickets right to the last moment. My name is Natalie Hope O'Donnell, and on behalf of the First Supper Symposium, I'm honored to welcome you to this event. The First Supper Symposium is a collaborative feminist artist project started by Lisa Pacini and Gidsken Braadlie in 2012. The first event was last year, on the centenary of women's right to vote in Norway. This year, they have been joined by Ekaterina Sharova, who has facilitated Pussy Riot's visit to Norway, and Nadia and Masha's presence here today, which is pretty amazing. This event would not have been possible without their hard work. They have also asked me to thank the Freedom of Expression Foundation, Norske Billedkunstnere Vederlagsfondet, the Cultural Committee of the Norwegian Student Society, the Norwegian General Consul in New York, Deichmanske Library, Litteraturhuset, and Kunstnernes Hus. And, of course, you, who bought the tickets, the proceeds of which will go to Zona Prava, the foundation that Masha and Nadia started to promote prisoners' rights. The speakers here today have kindly agreed to waive their fees, so you've all contributed to a good cause. I am your moderator for this event. Oh, yes. Thank you. I'm your moderator for this event, and I will briefly introduce the background for the symposium and the practical matters associated with running it today. First, a quick introduction. You probably know this, but Pussy Riot is a Russian feminist protest group or band based in Moscow. Founded in August 2011, it has a variable membership of approximately 11 women, plus the people who film them and support them. They stage guerrilla punk performances in public locations, which are then edited and posted on the internet. As you also know, 3 members of Pussy Riot were arrested in connection with their punk prayer performance in Moscow's Cathedral of Christ the Saviour in 2012. And you can see the video, Rosie's going to show it later. One of the 3 arrested, Katya, spoke at the First Supper Symposium last year via Skype, and the other 2, Nadia and Masha, were then in jail, but they are here today. Nadia joined the performance group Vojna in 2007, at the same time as enrolling as a philosophy student at the University of Moscow. Many of their performances have been incorrectly attributed to Pussy Riot. Masha studied at the Institute of Journalism and Creative Writing in Moscow, is a published poet, and involved in environmental activism in Russia. They both joined Pussy Riot, and they were both sentenced to 2 years in prison for so-called hooliganism, fueled by so-called religious hatred. After much international outcry, they were released in December and have since been participating in new protests, have been attacked and arrested again in Russia, have been sent to many locations across the world and been promoting prisoners' rights and speaking out against censorship. The political issues that Pussy Riot address are urgent and include Putin's near dictatorship, the conflation of church and state in Russia, the new law banning homosexual propaganda, which seems to encourage homophobia and sanction hate crimes. And if we needed any more topical reasons for inviting them to speak here, we could just refer to the recent Sochi Olympics, where Nadia and Masha were attacked, the fact that Oslo plays host to Europride this summer, or that Pussy Riot's distinctive, colourful balaclavas get their name from the Crimean town, which until recently was in the Ukraine. Now it's in Russia. But if we go slightly beyond the media spotlight, beyond events in the news, we can see that Pussy Riot's means of protest can be traced to a recent history of punk or riot girl bands, as well as Russian performance art and feminist guerrilla action. This is what we wanted to explore in this symposium, to go beneath the surface, beyond the photo ops, and contextualize the phenomenon that is Pussy Riot in the different yet overlapping spheres in which they operate. So we have invited these 3 renowned speakers to reflect on the work of these women, as the alliterative title says, to put Pussy Riot in perspective. And Victor Misiano, who will situate Pussy Riot's performances within Russian contemporary art and a history of art activism in the immediate post-Soviet era. Rosi Braidotti will then look at the politics of women's rock and punk bands and how performances have been used as feminist means of protest. And then Judith Butler will examine the issues Pussy Riot invoke in the wider context of political demonstrations. All the speakers will then gather for a conversation on stage, which you're invited to join in, and I'll explain the procedure when we get there. I have a couple of housekeeping things to say, which is boring, I'm sorry. In the unlikely event of fire, please look for your emergency exit and your so-called brandvakter, who are situated on either side here. There is no break. There will be room to wriggle and whisper to your friends when we invite speakers up for a discussion and they get settled. Otherwise, please exit discreetly by the entrance that you came in, and note that the bathrooms are located on the ground floor. Please turn your mobile phones on silent. That means silent, not just vibrate. Buzzing pockets are as distracting as a ringing telephone. And please, no flash photography. This event is being streamed, and it's very disturbing for the people speaking as well as the people filming. I'll be introducing each speaker before their individual talks, so I'll be bouncing up somewhat. I'll also be cutting them off if they go too long, which I will do very gently at first by this dulcet tone, and then somewhat more harshly, and hopefully we won't get to that stage. On your part, please save your questions to the end, and for the moment, sit back and relax, make a mental note of anything you'd like to ask, and enjoy the show.